Alright, so it's day 72 of going through my old journal entries. And so this one today says, crying does not indicate that you are weak. Since birth, it has always been a sign that you are alive. How do you feel about crying? Does it give you a release or is it a crutch? Describe a time you had your best cry. I hope you can see that. There you go. So if you're following along, go ahead and pause and think about what your response to this would be. And here's what I wrote. Oh, this might be interesting. Okay. So I will say before even reading this, I like crying when it's appropriate. I never like to cry in front of people. I will do my hardest to hold back tears to avoid crying in front of anyone. Even someone who's hurt me. But I sometimes crying does feel really, really good. And I will say I tend to cry more when I'm old, since I've been older than when I was younger. So we'll see if I cover that in here. I said, wow, another timely prompt. Oh, I've been crying off and on for the past day or so. I've been dealing with a really complicated relationship for the past few years. There's been a lot of betrayal and lies, but it's also brought comfort and peace in other areas. Over time, I've been pulling away more and more, not because I don't care about the person, but because I need to protect myself from the pain that they continue to inflict on me. At this point, I've been betrayed so much that I'm actually confused by my being emotional. Like, I know what type of person they are. I know they're either unwilling or unable to change, so why do I keep getting hurt when they do what I know they were going to do all along? I guess when times are good, I let myself forget the type of person they are. Sometimes when they betray me, I cry. Sometimes it makes me angry, and sometimes I feel nothing at all. And yeah, I remember like over the past few years dealing with this relationship, I was so confused by my emotions at different times. And I just honestly, I think it's hormonal that goes along with my natural hormonal cycle. I think when something would happen where I was at this point of my hormone cycle, my reaction would be a certain way. And if it happened in a different part of my hormone cycle, it would be this way. So like, you know, say I found out they'd been lying to me or whatever. If I was at one point, sometimes I would be like, I would just feel nothing, you know, I would just be like, okay, you know, and just turn cold, shut it off, and not have any sort of like massive emotional reaction. Sometimes it would make me mad. And then, like I said, sometimes I would cry. And this time I must have gotten emotional. It must have been during that time of my month where I'm more prone to getting emotional, because I do know there's a time of the month that I do. Even like happy things, you know, sometimes make me cry in like a happy way. And so I can kind of know when I'm feeling a little bit more emotional, it's just that time. And so, you know, I'd spent like a few years just navigating how my emotions were with this relationship. And so, yeah, I was definitely, must have been going through it at this time. I said, right now I feel sad and lonely. And I said, they're still with the person that they've been cheating on me with. They didn't come home last night. I wish the crying would get rid of all my feelings for them. Hopefully this will be the last time I cry over them. And like I've said before, I didn't date these, so I'm not sure exactly like when this was. So I can't say whether or not it was the last time. I guess maybe in some of these other prompts. But I don't think I wrote in too much detail about the relationship in this one. But this one, just like I said, seemed to come at a really timely moment. If I wasn't going through that, I may have written about other times that I've cried, about just over, you know, like heartwarming TV commercials, you know, at times would cause me to cry. Or just watching, yeah, videos where somebody's done something really nice or really great for other people. You know, like sometimes that will make me cry, but it's all just like kind of depends on what my underlying hormones are like, I guess. It's not just doesn't come out of the blue, but like I said, I like to do it when I'm alone. Like sometimes it does just feel really good to just like it does. I don't know why. Like crying seems kind of weird to me. Like water comes out of your eyes and you're sobbing and like your nose runs and like I don't really understand why we do it. It just seems like kind of a weird emotional response, but it does seem to help sometimes just clear things out, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't say I cry that often. I don't usually cry like once a month, but I definitely do more now that I'm older, especially when I started like struggling more with anxiety a few years ago. Yeah, I guess it started maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Like even before this relationship that I was in, I was just going through just like a time where I just didn't know what I was doing with my life, and I don't know, I just started feeling really disconnected. And it's weird because like the more disconnected I was feeling, I think with like my life and where it was going, it was like the more connected I was getting with my emotions, and I was feeling more connected with like recognizing my anxiety and my feelings about things and just trying to navigate that. And since then, yeah, I've definitely been more emotional. But lately, thankfully, I've been feeling pretty happy. Like since I've been kind of getting my life, feeling like I've got my life together a little bit better. There's so much less stress than there was like last year. So I'm feeling more good emotions this time than like just kind of non-emotion or negative emotions. So I'm hoping that that continues, but I guess we'll just see. But yeah, I mean, I guess just out of anything, I would say if you're going through like a hard time, like just keep trying, just keep trying to figure out like what's up with you, and like why you're feeling a certain way and how you can deal with it, and if there's like small things you can do to try to move out of it, because it took me a long time, a couple of years to really, I wouldn't say, well, I don't know, I've not gone to like a therapist or a psychiatrist, so I don't know whether I was depressed. I never wanted to like label myself as depressed really, because I just never thought I was the type of person that would be depressed. I just always thought that I was, you know, for the most part happy for most of my life. And then, but looking back, I think I probably was pretty depressed for a while and just didn't like fully realize it, that that's what that was. But yeah, well, I don't know if like depression is a, you know, chemical imbalance, maybe not, but whatever I was feeling similar to how people would describe it. But yeah, I haven't been on any medication or anything. It's just been trying to take it day by day, really, I guess is the main thing I did. Like I would just like be ready to go to bed, be ready to fall asleep, and just hope that like the next day would be better. And I would kind of like have high hopes in the morning, it seemed like for a long time. I would try, you know, to make the day go, and then there were some days that like things would be kind of okay, and then there were other days that like I would be struggling to push and to focus and to work and to, you know, just do the things that I needed to do. And then it would usually be about 3 or 4 o'clock. If I just could tell that it wasn't gonna happen that day, whatever I wanted to get done, I remember several times this happening. I would just release it. I would just be like, okay, well, I didn't get this done today. I know it needs to get done, but it's just not going to happen today. And I remember like the relief of me releasing it at like 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock, whenever, and then just, you know, just somehow I was able to shut off that part of my mind that would like get onto myself for not getting done what I needed to get done. And so I would just like kind of try to enjoy the rest of my night. And then it's kind of like when I released it, then I would start to like, okay, well, I'm not going to get this thing, that whatever this thing is that's like stressing me out that I need to get done. I'm not going to get that done. I'm going to put that out of my mind. But what else can I do to like get me prepared for tomorrow so I can have a better day tomorrow? So then it's like, once I push that thing that was really blocking me out of the way, even though it needed to get done, it was the most important thing to get done, whatever was stopping me from doing it, I would just, you know, be like, okay, well, for whatever reason, I can't get this done, but what are some other things that I can get done to still feel like I'm productive? And so I had like several months of what I called like productive procrastination, to where I would just end up, you know, picking up the house, or, you know, making my to-do list for the next day and be like, okay, well, today didn't go as planned, but tomorrow I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And it didn't always work out that the next day was better, but sometimes it was. And so I think it was the way I just took it one day at a time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And if I had a failure one day, you know, at night, I would try, you know, towards the end of the day, I'd be like, okay, well, I didn't get done what I needed to do, but let's try tomorrow. And even if it didn't always happen the next day, usually I would be building forward. And so now, I don't know, I guess through doing that, somehow I've come to where I am now, and I can't really explain exactly how I did it. I think every person's probably going to be different in how they do it, but I think just like keep trying, just keep thinking about, okay, well, tomorrow's a new day, you know, you can start over tomorrow and try to be better. So that's what I've been doing, and there were lots of ups and downs for sure, but now I'm finally to a point where I think I'm over the hump, to where I'm having way more ups than downs. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty hopeful. So I don't know how I was like throughout most of this. Like, I guess I have a bad memory. And so I'm trying to think back, like this was early this year. I'm trying to think back of like, I was already in a better time when I was writing these. I can tell you that. Like, the few months before that, like November, December of 2021, were really bad. Probably one of the lowest points I've hit. There was another similar point, I think sometime in 2020, but it was definitely like a low point, like high anxiety and just feeling really awful. But I think for most of this year, I've been feeling better. And I think, you know, some of the ups and downs had to do with the relationship I was dealing with. So if I wasn't dealing with that, like maybe I wouldn't have had so many ups and downs. But overall, I feel like I've come out of it better. So I definitely have a whole new perspective on life after going through like everything I've been through the past several years. So, and I kind of like my new perspective. But anyway, this is getting long, so I will just cut it off here and be back tomorrow with day 73.